Hey guys, what's going on? This is week 3 of the Final Fantasy XIV Informational. Originally, I had planned to talk about lore, but you know what? I figured if you're not really interested in reading about the lore, as important as it is in the Final Fantasy game, then you sure as hell don't want to watch some guy just talk about it. So maybe another time I'll do the lore, but I think I'd rather get down to some of the things that people might be less aware of. Lore is one thing, but for some people, it's not game changing. So this week, I'm going to talk about a few things. First, I just want to highlight that for any legacy members out there, a legacy member being somebody who supported the game during the point where the game was considered unplayable by many, the name registration for the credits of Realm Reborn are on the Lodestone. You can find the link to the Lodestone's front page in the description. If you have a legacy account, please go there, put your name. I put my real name. You can put your real name, your character name, whatever you want to do. I don't know what you're supposed to do, and it'll appear in the credits of A Realm Reborn. Now, while I'm on the subject of legacy, a lot of people might be kind of wondering what legacy people even get. Um, so I think I'll just cover one thing of what legacy people get because it's actually something that can branch off into the model of this game, which is pay to play. Yes, this is a pay to play model game, and there are 3 types of subscriptions. The first one is legacy. What is a legacy person? A legacy subscription means that I paid for a certain amount of months when the promotion was going on, and now I get a reduced monthly payment. Reduced by how much? Well, I can say about $5. So here we go. The legacy one is $9.99 a month. You get 8 characters per server, well, up to a maximum of 8, and you can have up to 40 characters on your account. Now, keep in mind, this is Final Fantasy XIV, so there's very little reason you really, really need 8 characters. Seems excessive, but you know what? If I have 40 character slots, I'm not going to complain since I am a legacy account. Now, for those who, didn't support the game, they didn't want to waste their time, they didn't want to waste their money. There's the standard one. Standard is $12.99 a month, so it's along the same lines as Final Fantasy XI. And you get 1 character per server and up to 8 characters across the entire game. So basically, you really don't need more than a standard. You can do everything in the game with just 1 character, and so don't feel like it's pay to win in that by having legacy or the next one that you have some sort of advantage. You do have an advantage in terms of, maybe organization or maybe you like to break things down like that, but you can still complete everything in the game on a standard account. And the final version is the deluxe version. Deluxe is $14.99 a month and it comes with the same benefits as the legacy account for, the extra $5 for those who didn't support the game when it was pay to play during the 1.0 series. So again, 8 characters per server, 40 characters total. It's nothing crazy, but it's good that they're opening up options because I mean it's only what like $2, but there are people who that really matters to. I don't want to pay $15 a month. I'll pay $12.99 a month. There are people who just a dollar or two can really make a difference seeing a smaller number because 15 does seem significantly larger than $12.99 when you put them side by side. And the last thing I really wanted to talk about, and this is more in tune with the gameplay. Hold on, let me turn the light up a little bit. There we go. Uh, this last one is more in tune with the game, and I really want to talk about this because it's influenced from Final Fantasy XII, and he mentions it in an interview with 4gamer.net. He speaks about how aggro works for the most part. Basically, how it works. If you played Final Fantasy XII, you know that they use those sort of arrows that point towards things. Currently, that is the plan. He says you can turn it off, but that's how it's designed by default, according to him in this interview. Where when somebody gets aggro on a monster, an arrow pops up and it points at them. Um, so whenever you change, max aggro on the list, it'll do that, and you'll know, okay, he's coming after me, or he's going after the tank. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways to tell, but the one thing that was sort of interesting that they included, uh, and I correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember this being in Final Fantasy XII, although the system is along the same lines, and that's that let's say you have a group of like 4 monsters near each other, and each one of them has sort of a link between them. like an arrow, that means that those monsters link. It's a visual signal that, hey, I am gonna get attacked by 4 guys if I pull these things. So yeah, that's actually really, really important because it allows you to plan your pulls a lot more accordingly in dungeons because you might see a pull that's 6 enemies, and you might think, oh, well, then I just got to run in there. There's no point in me pulling them back if I'm just gonna be fighting every monster in the room. But if you find out that it's 2 packs of 3, then obviously your strategy changes a lot more. Now you want to pull them back and you want to make sure you get them out of the room. So it's a pretty big game changer. Let me just see if he mentioned anything else about that before I, conclude this with a quick little tidbit of information. Let's see. He even mentions, yeah, it's an evolved version of the Final Fantasy XII target line. It was indeed easy to understand. So, yeah. Can't accomplish strategy. Can this have to be turned off? Yes. All right. Yellow lines will appear between monsters. Okay, yeah. So he just mentions that lines between monsters and whatnot. Actually, he doesn't even really mention the Oh no, yeah. There's the hate line. But now you can see which player has hate by the hate line used in useful dungeons. Um, if it's completely evolved in the Final Fantasy XII's version, I'm gonna imagine that it's a little bit more elaborate than that. That it's not just hate lines. Perhaps maybe there'll be target lines too, for people. I don't know. I mean that's how it worked. If it's an advanced version of Final Fantasy XII's, then I'd imagine it has all of the ins and outs of Final Fantasy XII's targeting system. But easy to understand, but hopefully, I mean, I'm glad there'll be an option to turn it off because things like that aren't too necessary for more experienced players because they know. I mean, maybe you want to leave it on so you can see when somebody targets the wrong person by accident and you want to call them out on it because you're an asshole. But other than that, I think it's a good inclusion for people who may not quite understand the system, at least when it comes to monsters and linking and things like that. So that's all I really wanted to talk about today. There's still so much information to go over, and I'm just trying to hold over until I can stream it and then make all videos, and then I don't just have to read from interviews. So that's all I really have today. In case you were kind of looking forward to something lore based, all you really need to know is that there will be 3 different types of lore in the game. If I can find it real quick in my in my interviews that I have here. Yeah, there are 3 different. One involves the Beastmen, one involves the Imperial Army, and let's see. Yeah, see, this is sort of an on the fly thing. All right, so there's the main story, the real battle between the Imperials, Gridania, Limbs of Lamita, Ulda's Grand Company. That's the main story. Um, let's see, there's 3 pillars. First one will be the mystery behind the planet of Hydaleen. That's the planet that Yorzia sits on top of. It's on the continent of Aldenard, but the planet itself is called Hydaelyn. It's either Hydaelyn or Hydaleen. I can't quite tell. Um, and then it says that the planet has its own consciousness and is formed through the mother crystal. So your story will lead in that direction. Then of course there's going to be the main story between the Imperials, and then there's going to be the story about the Beastmen and the Avatars and whatnot. So there are going to be a lot of different aspects to the story, and it should be pretty elaborate. So anyone who was fans of previous single-player Final Fantasy stories and their elaborations, or Final Fantasy XI's elaborate storyline, then you should definitely enjoy a Realm Reborn storyline. That's all I have to talk about today. I don't have any screenshots for today. I'm saving a couple for next week. Actually, you know what? I'll see if I can include a screenshot of a boss that we believe will be coming to the Crystal Tower. He is a very familiar face if you've played Final Fantasy III. No, it is not the Cloud of Darkness, it is somebody else, but we can only assume he's going to be a boss of the Crystal Tower. So thank you for watching. Hopefully next week I'll have something a little bit different to talk about. Hopefully some more information will come out by then, but I still do have a lot of questions that have been unanswered. So if you have any questions, if there's anything that maybe you're wondering that I can find from the interviews, then definitely drop it in the comments below, and I'll see if any of my interviews have an answer for what you're looking for. So thank you for watching. Please like me, subscribe. that whole thing. Share the video, and please follow me on twitch.tv/MrHappy1227. Currently, I stream Minecraft every day, every weekday afternoon for at least a few hours. Sometimes it's later in the evenings, but when Phase 3 comes, I will be streaming Final Fantasy 14 pretty much as long as I'm awake and I'm not busy doing anything else. So you can look forward to that. I can't wait to play it, and I hope you can't wait either. And I will see you next week for the next informational or on my stream.